Here's what you're going to need to change the clutch cable on a 2001 Yamaha V-Star, classic or custom. You're going to need a clutch cable, a 5mm Allen hex wrench, a bottle of Loctite, and a Phillips screwdriver, and of course, one of these, and a cat. And here's the clutch cable part number should you need that. One other item you might need is a motorcycle jack stand, because there is one problem. You need to move your kickstand about a 45-degree angle, as well as loosen your kickstand sensor to reach this bolt right here. Alright, first thing you want to do is remove this rubber boot, back it up, and expose your clutch mechanism here. Now, how do you know you need a new clutch? It's when your wires start to fray. You see this? I mean, mine is dust right here. And what you're going to notice is when you're on the road, you suddenly lose at a stoplight like 50% of your clutch. It's going to look like that when it's resting. And you're going to realize, you know, you're having to force it into gear. So what you want to do at that point is pull over to a safe point of the road and turn this knob. Well, you want to loosen this. Then go ahead and turn this counterclockwise. This will take up slack in the line so that you'll be able to get home at least. Be sure to tighten that up too before you leave, and you'll be able to get home at least. After that, you can take it to a shop or do the procedure yourself. This bike generally has I'm going to say 120,000 miles on it, and every 2 years or 12,000 miles this thing defects. And let me show you why. Right here is a swivel, and this part is the part that fits under your clutch right here. Well, over time this swivel will seize, and what happens is when it seizes, it starts putting pressure right there where my thumb is. When that happens, every time out of 10 clutches, it always frays in the same spot. They've always broken the same spot. So this is why you need to do this every 2 years if you have a V-Star 1100 around the year 2001, prior or shortly after. Well, here's where your clutch enters the facility right here. So you can't get this bracket off without taking this one off first. So we're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. 5mm. Then go ahead and remove that bracket. Now we're here where the clutch enters the facility, but there's 3 bolts holding that on, 5mm bolts, hex nut. But we can't get to this one unless we remove this apparatus right here. So go ahead and remove these 2 first. Now your last bolt is hidden behind your kickstand here. But what we're going to do, there's 2 Phillips head screws that hold on your kickstand sensor. We're going to loosen this one on the bottom, and then we're going to remove the one on the top so that we can swivel this thing around so that we can get to that last bolt. Once we do that, we'll be able to move this thing around and get to this last bolt. Once that bolt is out, remove your clutch cover. Alright, now we're back up top. What you want to do is loosen this locking nut, and then you're going to turn it left to create slack in the line. Chances are with a broken cable you won't need much, but you turn it in to create slack so that we can get this thing out. Now with the maximum amount of slack in your line, you want to take a knife or a screwdriver or something. There's this little tab right here. You're going to have to bend it out. And once it's out, you're going to be able to get your clutch cable right on out of there. And now top side again, what you want to do is you got openings all along this edge. You need to align all your openings Then your clutch cable will come right through, and then there's a little notch at the bottom here, and you're going to pull it out the bottom, and your clutch cable will come out. Now go ahead and pull your end part, your end clutch cable through that hole, and you got two eye holes. You got one here and you got one here. Remember where those are, because you're going to have to rethread this new cable through those. And go ahead and take this rubber boot off of the old one too. And before you forget, take the rubber boot and thread it on the new one. Now take your new cable, and with the clutch side aiming down, thread it through those same eye holes back into your clutch. Now we're on the bottom side. I want to take your new clutch cable and thread it in that little notch right here, and then use your finger or a knife and bend that piece of metal right back in. And now top side again, we're going to take our clutch cable, put it into that notch under our clutch, and thread it through. Everything should still be lined up from when you removed it, back into our assembly. Now go ahead and replace your bottom clutch cover. Might as well start with the bottom one we removed. And remember, we got the 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and cinch those all tight. Then go ahead and replace your cover. Remember, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to put in. And do all those hand tight as well. And then we need to put in our kickstand sensor screw. You may wish to use a little bit of Loctite as well. I normally do. And don't forget to tighten the bottom one that you loosened either. Alright, now it's time to adjust your clutch. With the brand new clutch, when you put it in, you're going to have a whole lot of play. It's going to feel like it's hardly grabbing till the end. So what you want to do is pull your clutch up and then turn this apparatus up until it meets pretty much where your cable is here. Now right here is where I like it. I like that little bit of play in there. Some guys might like it to where you over tighten it a bit to where you hardly have any play in your clutch, where it's real tight. But me personally, you know, that's a bit too tight right there. So I like to leave it a little loose. That's where I got a little bit of play. And then once you got your clutch where you like it, go ahead and put that locking nut down. And one thing you want to make sure of is that you don't have this constant line, like where your locking nut is. You don't want that there. You want it to where it's offset, so that your clutch has no possibility of flying out of it at any point in time. Okay, so we're not lined up. Now take your rubber boot and put it back over your apparatus, and congratulations, you just changed your clutch and adjusted it. Finally, if you're planning on doing a long road trip, make sure you take at least these items with you: the cable, the clutch cable, the 5mm hex Allen wrench, and a Phillips screwdriver, because this is the difference between 15 minutes and 15 hours of fixing your problem should your bike be stuck in gear somewhere. Don't forget the cat.